again, everyone. Welcome to another presentation of Mars Revealers, Mars Anomalies, and Archaeology. And we got a pretty cool presentation for you all today as we're continuing on with the Pyramids of Mars series. This one's titled The Octagonal Conical Pyramid of Astapus Colles. That's right. And this is the site of which we'll be looking at today. Pretty interesting, huh? Well, this is a Google Earth view, and maybe some would say, oh, not so interesting. What's so special about it? Well, I don't know. Let's check it out, huh? As this is the area in question. Again, this one is a screen grab from Google Earth, Google Mars, to Google Earth Pro. So the feature in question, as you can see, it's a couple big craters, whatnot, here and there. A couple smaller ones here and there, and a bunch of knobby little things. But these things, again, don't underestimate the size of these. But this is the feature in question we'll be looking at today. Okay? What's so special about it? Well, let's go in a little closer. So this is it right here. And again, it's surrounded, by a few other features. Interesting also, to which I'll probably be doing videos on as well, as, let me go back one. As, like this feature right here is pretty interesting itself. It's a grouping of features that, at first glance, people might just overlook and, go right past by. But notice this is a perfect circle with like a square structure at the bottom of it. Interesting. And here's a round so-called crater with another bizarre, what appears to be half a crater. Don't ask me, we'll get into that in that video. What came first, the chicken or the egg? How could this look like that? But I'm just showing you a grouping of the features that surround the feature in question. And that's right here. Now, so it's pretty interesting. What's so interesting about it? Well, you all should pretty much see, as we're looking down at this, this doesn't look normal. It doesn't look like a normal hill, or what some would call a mountain, right? But this has some unique properties to it. For one thing, it appears to be octagonally shaped. Number one, that just doesn't happen in nature, especially where it comes to Mars and the bizarre examples that we've already looked at on Mars Revealers, Mars Anomalies, and Archaeology. Again, your destination for alien archaeology. So, that being said, just notice closely the shaping of this, the details of it. It's really interesting. And it doesn't, some people may say, well, that's the work of erosion or whatnot. Contraire, mon frere, because in my Martian madness, I'm not seeing any erosion or anything like that. To be honest, this whole thing looks perfectly art sculpted and artscaped. I mean, look at the details. Follow the details. It appears to be ornately carved, designed, laid out. That's my opinion, because that's what I see. And it just doesn't stay with this structure feature either. Okay? It's all over the place, all around it. Sorry about that. But again, I'm the Mad Martian. So am I crazy to be seeing what I'm seeing here? Is it art carved and everything else? Well, that's up to you to study more to determine. And, in the upcoming book, the Pyramids of Mars, Oasis of the Damned, I will be showing some line drawings, etc., of what I believe I'm seeing all over this feature, structure, pyramid. All right, now it's unique. Why is it a pyramid? Pyramids come in four sides, most people think. Contraire, mon frere, again, any geometrical shape could be a pyramid. It doesn't have to be triangular. And even then, we do have the triangular consistencies fused within the designing of this octagonal conical Martian pyramid. But what do I mean by octagonal? There you go. 8 sides. I've already focused on a couple other examples, as I was saying in the previous presentations, of hexagonally shaped features, but there's a lot more because, and it's usually not just one, like this perfect example here, it just doesn't have an octagon feature. Okay. As you can see, again, 8 sides. It's an octagon. It's math. How is nature so damn precise? But there we go. So, again, it could also be, again, this is a perfect example to show, again, forgive my crude art skills, doing these quick line tracings. Of course, I could make it perfect, but, what's the point? I just want to give you the example of what I'm trying to present here, of what is actually there on the Martian surface. So you can see the 8 sides of it. It's pretty interesting. But not only is it octagonal, but it's also, a lot of people would say they see a lot of round. It looks more round. Well, not when you consider that it's fused. There you go. As a circle. Again, it's not perfect, but it's to give you the idea of what this thing actually shows. And that is the fingerprint of the geometric mathematical art, as well as the shaping that's infused within this structure. And that's nothing new because it's not just a single point. Now we have a dual point, and there's even another. Technically, if I want, I could still go on from the outside too. It also seems to be hexagonally lined. So, but I didn't want to drive you all crazy with the line tracings and stuff. But this thing is also very interesting as it has like a rampart, like, for the lack of a better term, I guess I could think of at the moment. Podium, entranceway, connected entranceway, again, for another lack of a better term. I say entranceway because this looks like a way up, going up to go inside this somehow. But it's interesting in itself. And the coordinates, for everyone that wants to know out there, to go find it yourself, I'll have a link to an actual MRO CTX image so you all could go to see where this image came from and get its latitude and longitude and other imaging details about it. But that's the link. That's the coordinates right there. Okay? So again, this is exquisite. But I'm fascinated not only with the shaping of this, but also, again, of this rampart that seems to be fused in, designed and fashioned, sculpted into the pyramid itself. It is really interesting. And it's so amazing of the capabilities of what we're able to do. You see, I'm there all the time looking around. My eyes are quite trained to pick out a lot of things that have that signature of intelligence, or the techno signature, for another term of it, of being able to see their constructs there on that surface. Again, some people might find something right away, but until their eyes and their mindset starts morphing and changes to what is seen on the Martian surface, to get to know that, then these things should be able to be found by you all much better. I'm just trying to explain it because there are those that go looking and I don't find nothing, I gotta give up. Well, I can bitching. But at the same time, I can understand because it takes a lot of time to look over Mars and look over through the vast amounts of data, or even looking and spinning around on Google Earth, Google Mars, you know. And again, the untrained eye would zoom right over this and think it's nothing, right? But when you zoom in, again, these are no small feats of wonder, especially by the examples I present here on these presentations, right? But it is really incredible. So again, there's the location. Now, again, these things are no small feats of wonder. As we can see, this thing is 1.25 miles in width, you know, just from this side to this side, not including the outer perimeter edge surrounding it, okay? That might take a little more of a trained eye and a non-novice, experienced viewer studying the structure, you know what I mean? But from edge to edge, we could clearly see 1.25 miles. Again, no small feat of wonder. So from the back of it, or from bird's eye view here, the top of it, all the way down to the bottom of the rampart, even podium, whatever you want to call this thing, built and fused inside of it. It's pretty incredible. This is 1.5 miles in length. So again, we got 1.25 miles wide, by a mile and a half. Again, it's about the same size as the face of Cydonia, in essence. You know, 1.25 miles. It's going a little bit beyond the 1 mile width of the face, okay, going across it. So it's got a little more meat there on this structure. But this is just an example to give you as a comparative analysis of sizes of how big these things are, and consistently in the same size ranges, believe it or not. And so, and this podium rampart thing, all right, is 1/2 mile across from edge to edge. So that ain't too bad. Pretty interesting, right? Pretty huge. Again, no small feat of wonder. There's another view of it. Again, look at this thing. You could even make out that even though it's octagonally shaped as well as conically shaped, again, fused together, it also, you could catch the faintness of it actually being pyramidal, to the example like of a four-sided pyramidal. I mean, you know, it kind of throws that out by the shadows. What do I mean? Well, understand that a little more and appreciate what all these features are. Again, I don't think any of this is erosion, but I'm crazy, some say, but I don't think so, because Mars has been artistically carved on an entire planetary scale. Prove me wrong. No one has been able to. In fact, everything that I've said, and even of all the other Mars Anomalies finds, it's only another notch that leads me up to the conclusion that my words are valid, that Mars has been artistically sculpted on an entire planetary scale at some point in the past, before all its whoop-de-doos and whatnot. And maybe even coming in after the fact of whoop-de-doos or whatnot, and doing some modifications. I don't know. But it does give us the appearance of it being, you know, an abandoned. That's the big question. Is it all abandoned? Is Mars alive? Where are those subsurface illegals? I think they need some freedom to be brought to them by the USA. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Remember, we're going to put our flag on the face of Mars. American boots are going to put the American flag on the face of Mars. And I do believe that's going to be true one day, especially for Elon Musk and President Donald Trump's vision and bringing us to space, especially now with all these disclosures coming out. Why should it surprise you that on the planet next door to us that the images, this is your disclosure here. You don't need NASA or someone to tell you, oh, you know what disclosure is or what this is or isn't, when your own eyes and analytical prowess can show you. And the work we've shown here that I've shown you all in this video, even with the line traces, is much more work than NASA would put into it using the data to try to prove to you that it's not what you're looking at, what you think it is, by what you're seeing. In fact, they like to label it as like pareidolia. You know, it's a human defect that, well, in all humans, it's only natural. Don't kick your own ass over it. You know, it's just that you're slightly defective, because when you look at some things, you think you're seeing something, and you're not really seeing nothing. You know, but yet there it is. And we don't have just one image source of this, by the way. Okay? But do the research on it. You got the location. You can find all the imagery for this. Mars Odyssey's got it. Mars Express. Mars Express data isn't too good of it, in my opinion. That's why I didn't show it. Mars Odyssey. Why include? I got the goods here. And to really appreciate what we're looking at regards all this details. God, I love this rampart podium thing. It's really interesting, huh? But anyway. And the details going over this, and it's just connects to everything. It's really incredible. LiDAR, that's what we need. That'll help bring out the tattoo all the more. But I digress. I went off on a little tangent there, because this thing's just so cool to look at. I mean, look at it, right? It's pretty wild. 1.25 miles wide, 1.5 miles long. Huh. And it's about 1,000 foot, maybe 1,200 feet high. So it's a few hundred foot smaller than the face in height. So there's another way of looking at it. Brought out the details a little more. Oh, it's interesting. You know, but what, you know what I do in this show, I like to, besides a bird's eye view, looking down at it two-dimensionally, the better way to understand of what we're looking at more accurately, okay, is in 3D, spinning around. What do you all think of that? But hey, that's what makes this, a notch up above the rest. You don't see anyone else really finding these things, let alone then presenting them to you all in 3D. Okay? Accurate 3D now. Okay? Not just someone's guess. Okay? So that being said, much more I could say about this, but, why don't I just let you all watch it and study it? And as you do, you may want to watch in full screen size view. Like and subscribe. You can always pause it as the video you're going to watch, as it spins around. Therefore, you can take in and appreciate, make screen grabs, whatnot. So it'll help you study it on your computers or whatnot. I would recommend that rather than the phones. Okay? There's a lot more tools and there's a lot more viewing area to appreciate than squinting down and, destroying your eyes with the phones. So that being said, until next time, I got plenty more coming. This ain't nothing yet. People like to say, oh, there's not much on Mars. There's nothing. Yeah, okay, we'll see. We'll see. And when you see and start seeing the things that I see, you might change your tune a little, because what counts is the data, not what NASA and other PhDs and mainstream organizations or publishing departments or TV or Guy Smiley or any other asshole out there that's paid to lie to you to make you think that you had the problem because you thinking you see an octagon, let alone a fucking pyramid. So that being said, until next show, like and subscribe, and peace.
The sky bleeds red, it cracks like bone. Empty valleys carved by stone. A quiet echo whispers near. A place where silence holds its spear. Red horizon burns so slow. A world of dust where nothing grows. Red horizon dreams unknown, a land of whispers all alone. Steel towers reach but grass nowhere. Shadows fall, they disappear. Machines still hum but never speak. A Martian heart so cold and bleak. Footprints fade into the sand. Memories lost to this red land. Time is slow, it crawls, it waits underneath the heavy gate. Red horizon burns so slow. A world of dust where nothing grows. Red horizon dreams unknown, a land of whispers all alone. Winds arise, they hum their tune underneath the pale blue moon. Mars will keep its secrets tight, a haunting song beneath its light.